All right, we're moving on to network diagram example. Well, I guess it's the third one. Technically, it's example B because there was example A before this one, and then there's just an example that didn't have a letter by it. So now we're in example B, in case you want to know. All right, we're going to go ahead and start working through this one and see how everything goes. Let's see, where in the world is it? There it is. That's it. Here it is, just kind of off to the side. Here is example B. And so you have all this stuff in here. What they've done is they say the predecessor has a dash through it, which means there's nothing that comes before that. So I am going to, since I don't really have enough room to do it over here, I'm going to kind of slide it up here as best I can and start working as I go. So I'm going to say A is the first one. Now, understand that alphabetically, it doesn't necessarily go from A to B to C or even A to C to G, for example. I could start off with D being the first operation. So don't think that the activity name necessarily is sequential. Usually in these examples, they are somewhat sequential, but don't assume that, especially with mine. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to say A is the first one. So, and I'm going to draw it somewhat lightly since I don't necessarily know, and make it big enough, but don't put the numbers in till later. It's just more of a hassle at this point. So I've got that one taken care of. So I'm just going to draw a little circle around it. So now I cruise down and say, what else do I have to work with? Well, I need to do B because that one comes, that's the only one that I can do because the only thing I know right now is A. So I'm going to put B. And this is kind of a guess where it goes. So I'm just going to put a B around this and draw my line. I hope this is working. So I put a little circle around B knowing that I'm done with it. So now I know A and B. So I say, nope, not ready for that one. Nope, 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 nope. And I say, oh, wait a minute. Oh, C comes from B. I do know that one. So I'm going to write C comes from B. I forgot to draw my arrows here. So now I know A, B, and C. So now I can do D because D comes from A and C. So D comes from A and C. And this is where it gets a little bit, dicey because see, A comes, and I don't really have enough room to do all the stuff I want to do. I don't know if I can zoom out anymore or not. Oops, that's the wrong way. I can zoom. It's like a kind of a trade-off between you being able to see and me being able to show you. All right. So D comes from A and C. So D comes from A and C, and so I am going to put D up here, and hopefully it doesn't get in my way later on. So I'm going to put D, and it says it comes from C and A. All right. I understand I might have to erase it and erase something at some point. So I have A, B, C, and D. Okay, so I'm just going to check these off here. And E comes from D. Well, I have D, so I can do E. So I do E, comes from D. All right, I'm going to put that, and I'm going to circle that. Oh, F comes from E. All right, F comes from only E. So I'm going to do that. All right, I'm going to circle that. And I look at G comes from C. All right, so here's C. So I'm going to put G here. I'm just going to put a little bit down here. G comes from C. All right, I'm moving along. And I'm not going to do this one. This one's a little bit hairy right now. I'm going to try to do I. I comes from C. I comes from C. So I'm going to put I here and say it comes from C. And there I have it so far. I can do, I'm just gonna save this one for right now. Let's do J comes from G and H. I don't have H, so I can't do that. This one has H in it, so I have to do this one now because I don't know H. So H comes from D, H comes from D, E, G, and I. So now I got to figure out a way. So I'm just going to go like this. And so this looks like the best path for me to go to try to make it work. So I'm going to do H here. And that's a wimpy looking circle. So I have D, E, I, and G. So that looks like it's going to work out okay for me. Whoops. Okay. And I could have drawn it more directly. Okay, I could have drawn this more directly than I did. All right, I have that one taken care of. The H. And then J comes from G and H. So there's G and H. So I'm going to put J. J comes from H and G. And I'm just going to actually, since to make, I think my life might be a little bit easier if I am more direct about this. Kind of keep them all close together. Okay. So J comes from G and H. And K comes from F, H, and J. So K comes from F, H, J. F, H, and J. And so there I have my network diagram, and it looks like it's pretty tidy. I know it's kind of long at the beginning, a little bit scrunched to the back. And so now I've got my network diagram. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put in my activity times. So I'm just going to go A, B is C is 5, 4, 2. A is 5. B is 4. C is 2. D is 6. E is 8, 5. 6, 8, 5. D is 6. E is 8. F is 5. G is 4. And H is 13. G is 4. And H is 13. I is 2. J is 1. K is 6. So I have all of these in there. Finally, so now I can go ahead and finish this. I want to point something out, though, that I didn't point out last time. It says, what is the expected completion time for the project, like on the last one? That one's just the total amount of time that you put that goes right. The completion time is whatever time is right here at the end, okay? That's the expected completion time, is that number that is right there or there. They're both the same number. So I'm going to go ahead, I got this all set aside here and put this thing aside, focus on the big thing. And I got this little ridge here, so sometimes that causes me problems. So I say, I start off and I'm going to do my E's. And oh, wait a minute, I got to make my decisions. I have 2 arrows coming into there. I got to make a E decision. 2 arrows coming in. 3 arrows coming in. I got, or 4 arrows coming in. I have an E decision here. I have an E decision here. I have an E decision here. I have to make all these decisions because some arrows are coming into. See, there's an arrow here. There's arrows coming into there, more than one. I got to get rid of this picture of myself so it's not in the way. Okay, and some arrows coming in there. So those are my E's. And then I do my L's, the ones that are backing into it. Oh, there's 2 backing into this one. I have an L decision here. I have 2 backing into this one. I have an L decision here. I have 2 backing into this one. I have an L decision here. I have 3 backing into this one, so I have an L decision here. I have 2 backing into this one. I have an L decision here. And I think that look, oh, I have an L decision here. See that? I have 2 coming out. Even though I have 2 coming in, I also have 2 coming out, so I have L decision there. And I think that looks like it's it. So now I can just go ahead and get started. Remember, this way is my E's. ES, early start, is 0. Finish is 0 plus 5 is 5. And I have to make a decision here, so I have to wait. I can't put 5 there. I have to wait and see what happens. This one, I don't have to wait. So this one's 5. I'm looking at just the E question marks here. 5 is the earliest second finish. The earliest second start there is therefore 5 days later. 5 plus 4 is 9. And I come over here and I say no E decisions here. That's good. So I'm going to put 9 here. 9 plus 2 is 11. And now I can evaluate this one. Do I choose the bigger E? The E's, you choose the bigger. This one is 11. This one is 5, so I choose 11 because it's the bigger. 11 plus 6 is 17. And can I do this one? Yes, I can. I have 11. I'm going to pause for, hold on a second. I have to take care of something. All right, I'm back, sharing screen. There you go. All right. Woo, now where were we at? Look at, like, we kind of can trace her over here. Let's see. And you kind of know where you left off, but I'm having to come back after several minutes of delay. So here we go. We're at 17 here. Oh, we have 11 here. Well, there's no decision here. So we just go ahead and can carry our 11 over because it's late, early finish 11. Then the earliest we can start this one is 11. Plus 2 is 13. No decision E, no E question mark here. So early finish there is 11. So the early start there would be 11 as well. 11 plus 4 is 15. Those are my favorite ones, the ones without decisions. All right. No decisions here for the E. So early finish of 17. That means an early start here of 17. 17 plus 8 is 25. And now we get into, let's do this one. All right. Remember, we're taking the biggest number. So we have 15. I know you can't squeeze it. You have 15 coming from this one. You have 13 coming from this one, so we're still holding on to this one. You have 17 coming out of this one. We're jumping out of this one. This one is 25 coming in, so the biggest one of these 4 is 25. 25 and 13 is 38. And right, that makes it easy. So into this one, we have 38, which is going to be it, versus 15, so we do 38. And 38 plus 1 is 39. And I'm pretty certain we have 39. This one we have 39 coming in, 38 coming in, and oh, we haven't done this one yet. 25, that's a no-brainer. There's no decision between the E's. 25 and 5 is 30. So I have 30 coming in here, 38 coming in here, 39 coming in here. 39 is the winner. 39 and 6 is 45. And those are my E's. Those are my E's. So now it's time to go this way with the L. So I say 45 because that's what we do. With this number is this number. 45 minus 6 is 39. Big surprise. By the way, we know that's on the critical path. And of course, we're going to know that's on the critical path as well because everything goes through that point as well. So we know those two are on the critical path. So I say 39. I jump down to here. No L decision here. So this is going to be this 39. Make sure you don't take the 45. It's going to be the LS that you're grabbing. 39 minus 1 is 38. And we know that's on the critical path because those line up. So I might as well get that marked. And I come over here and I say, oh, I have to make an L decision, okay, between these two. This one, remember, when we go with the L's, we always look at the bottom. We have 39 coming in from here. We have 38 coming in from here. And remember, for the L's, we take the smaller ones with the L's in it. So we're going to go with 38. 38 minus 13, of course, is going to be 25. We also know that that's going to be on the critical path because this number and this number are the same. This number are the same. I'll put my little dot right there just so and this one, there is no L decision. So I know that 30, remember, don't pick the top one, pick the bottom one, although they're the same. 39, I move that over here since I don't late finish. The latest I can start this one's 39, so the latest I can finish this one is the 39th day. 39 minus 5 is 34. We know that that's not on the critical path because this number is not, these numbers are not the same. All right, so I'm jumping over to this one. I need to decide between 34 and 25. Between 34 and 25. I choose the smaller number, so I'm going to go with the 25. So I do 25 minus 8 is 17. On the critical path. This one I have to decide between 38 and 25, between these two. So I'm going to choose the smaller. I'm going to do 25. 25 minus 4 is 21, not on the critical path. This one is 25, no decisions here, so I move this 25, this late start here of 25 to this late finish needs to be 25. 25 minus 2 is 23. All right, this one we can do. This one, this one has a 25 coming into it, and this one has a 17. I choose the smaller number, 17. 17 minus 6 is 11. Those two line up on the critical path. Okay. Whew. We over here. This one, we have to decide between these three. This one is 21 coming in here. This is 23. But this one is 11, so we're going to do 11. 11 minus 2 is 9, and we're on the home stretch. This one is a simple one. You have to be, so this one is 9, so 9, and 9 minus 4 is 5. And now we're back to the 5. We're moving into the last one. You have 11 coming in here. You're comparing 11 to 5. We're going to choose the smaller, which is 5, which is 5 minus 5 is 0. That's on the critical path. On the critical path, like I said, but also these numbers are the same, so that is on the critical path, and I have to hide myself again. Okay, and so that's on the critical path. 5, 5. This is also on the critical path. And so our critical path is, and I'll do it here, A to B to C to D to E to H to J to K. And it's going to take us 45 days as our project completion time. Now, if we did this right, and since it looks like there's only one critical path, because this thing would not be a critical path, because if I had this times up, watch, 5, 6 is 11, 8 is 19, 19 and 13 is 32, 32 and 6 is 38. That would not, 36, 39, I think, probably. I probably messed up my number somewhere along the lines. That does not equal to 45. But if I do this one, 5, 9, 11, 17, 25, 38, 45. That gets me that. So don't think that that's the critical path, or don't think that's the critical path. The one that equals 25 or 45 total is going to be the critical path. So there we go. So that is the thing of how to do those particular ones. So just take your time, make sure your diagram is big, and make sure that things that you know are on the critical path, such as this, reason I know that is every single path that I could take goes through this one. Make sure that this ends up at 5 and 5 and 0 and 0, because it has to, because no matter what happens, this has to be on the critical path. Having this equal 0 and 5 and 0, 5 does not necessarily mean that you did it right. You could make a mistake and then counteract that mistake later on. But for certain, if these numbers don't match on this one, you know you did something wrong. So I would just give you that little bit of tidbit of advice. So let me see if I can get out of this thing. And I want to make a clarification. When I was doing the network diagram, I was mapping out the time it took to get to be 45 and describing it. What I forgot to do is I forgot to go down to the J one when I was doing it, the one that just has a 1 day. I should have, instead going straight over like I did in the picture at the very, very, very end, I sure went down and grabbed J and then back up. But the J is in the network diagram, the critical pathing. When I was doing that, I just forgot to include the J, that one extra day to it. So just so you know.